Hello and welcome back to the channel. My name is Crib13 and today we're going to be doing a breakdown on YAE's Constellations. And since YAE is not actually out yet, I'm going to be using Lisa as our dummy because she's also an electrocatalyst user and she deserves a little bit of more screen time. Let's go ahead and just start with YAE MIKO's C1. YAE MIKO's C1 is going to regenerate some energy for YAE MIKO every time you cast your elemental burst. So she's going to generate 8 energy for each Tenko Thunderbolt that gets created. You're only able to cast a maximum of 3 Tenko Thunderbolts, so you multiply that by 8 and you get 24. So that means a maximum of 24 energy can be recovered by C1 YAE. In essence, also this means that you can subtract 90 and 24 and you get 66. So this means that her elemental burst now becomes a 66 cost burst, which is actually really good. You are still limited by the 22-second cooldown though. YAE MIKO's C2 is that her E-skill, the Seisho Sakura, will start at level 2 and then maxes out at level 4. The attack range is also going to increase by 60%. So taking talent level 8 for example, at level 2 you start at 121.3% scaling, and then at level 4 it goes up to 189.6% scaling. Compared to level 1, 97.1, and level 3, 151.7% scaling. So a pretty nice bump there. Constellation 3 is going to increase your E-skill talent by 3 levels. And since miHoYo is putting this constellation first, it definitely is trying to encourage you to play YAE MIKO as more of a sub-DPS character, encouraging you more to boost your E-skill damage over her burst. YAE MIKO's Constellation 4 is that when Seisho Sakura hit opponents, it's going to provide a 20% electro damage bonus for 5 seconds to all party members. YAE's E-skill is virtually a 100% uptime, so that means this damage bonus is going to be incredibly easy to keep up. The wording on this constellation also uses the term party members, so that means everyone in the party, including YAE herself, will get the buff. The wording also uses the term hit opponents, which means you don't actually have to deal damage in order to get this damage buff. As long as it comes into contact with an enemy, you will get the bonus, which means that this is going to be applicable even if you hit shields, like Abyss Mage shields or Abyss Lector shields. YAE MIKO's Constellation 5 is that her elemental burst talent is going to be increased by 3 levels. Not much to say there, except you're going to be dealing a lot more damage. But let's give you a frame of reference. At level 8, the skill damage is 416%, and the Tenko Thunderbolt is 534. Increase that by 3, going up to level 11, you now get 494% on the cast, and 634% for each Tenko Thunderbolt. Next up, her C6. Her C6 is a very simple constellation, but also an incredibly important one for her damage. Her E-skill is now going to ignore 60% of the opponent's defense. This is an absolutely insane constellation and increases her damage output by an obscene amount. Maybe not just her C6 by itself, but in combination with her C4 and her C3 and her C2. I'll show you just how crazy the difference is between a C0 YAE and a C6 YAE using math. Assuming a level 80 out of 80 Ascension Phase 5 YAE MIKO, you're going to get a 114.58% increase in damage. I provided a chart just to visualize this difference a little bit better. The red is a C6 YAE and the blue is a C0 YAE. So C6 YAE has the luxury of +3 talents and a level 4 Seisho Sakura and that 60% defense ignoring and also that extra 20% electro damage bonus. So yeah, this is absolutely insane damage. If all of your E-skill hits crit, and if we're talking 15 procs on our E-skill on a single enemy, you're dealing almost 350k damage with just our E-skill. That is of course over 15 seconds and not instant, but that's still a lot of damage. In terms of average damage, you're hitting about 282,000, so not every single of your hits are gonna crit because your crit rate is not 100%. But yes, theoretically, you're getting about 115% extra damage compared to a C0 and a C6 YAE. It sounds very appealing, but I'm pretty sure most of us, me included, just cannot afford a C6 YAE. But now, what if we get a little bit, more reasonable? C2, C3 YAE. How much more damage are we dealing compared to a C0 YAE? So I'll go ahead and provide another visualization for you guys. Blue is C0 YAE, red is C2 YAE, and yellow is the C3 YAE. Quite a good damage difference, but obviously not as good as C6, but still pretty decent. And the buff that we get here is that we now get access to a level 4 Seisha Sakura. So simply by getting an extra level on our Seisho Sakura, we get a 25% increase in damage. C3 YAE, when we get level 4 Sakura and 3 extra talent levels, we get a 48.5% increase in damage. So that would be the blue versus the yellow. In my opinion, 25% and 48.5% are both really good increases in damage. So yeah, definitely her constellations are pretty good. We can go ahead and take a look at the crit and average damage here for C2 and C3 YAE if we hit 15 procs of our elemental skill. At C3, it's about almost 200,000. At C2, about 164,000. And then if we hit our crits, we do break that 200,000 threshold mark. This does include the Viridescent Venerer Shred though, so if you're not using an animal character, your damage is going to be a little bit less than this. This also assumes that we're using a Kagura's Verity and a Thundering Fury and Gladiator setup. The crit ratio here being 70% crit rate and 178% crit damage. So pretty decent damage coming from YAE when she's off of the field, which I think is very important to note because this is all off-field damage while your main DPS is dealing even more damage. Alright, so that's YAE's Constellations broken down. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments down below. If this video helped you out, if you like this type of content, don't forget to hit that like button and maybe even consider subscribing to the channel. And until next time, I will see you guys later.